Frankie from Flatbush, reporting from Frankie from Flatbush headquarters on a dirty little secret that the NFL doesn't want you or anyone else to know about. But old Frankie discovered it, and we're gonna talk about it. Absolutely. We need to talk about this dirty little secret because your mainstream media is not going to talk about it. Your little insiders, they're not going to talk about it. Not in their interest to do so. But we're going to do it, and we'll do it right after I ask you to please subscribe to this channel. We have a goal of getting up to 650 subscribers. Then we'll have other goals after that. But first, we got to get to 650. We're a long way from that, so if you could help us out by clicking the subscribe button down below, we'd help it. We'd appreciate it. And if you don't want to do that, give a like to the video and or join the inner circle where you get exclusive items now. Let's take a look at a couple of articles that I have stumbled upon as an ace journalist. Now, this is very interesting. Front Office Sports headline. Oh, let's get rid of this thing over here. Hang on a second. Hang on just 1 second. There. Headline. We got a headline over here. NBA regular season ratings dip. That means they went down 2%, in line with the NFL. What? Wait a minute. I'm always told the NFL is a ratings juggernaut. What do you mean dip? What is this word dip? Dipping? The NFL? I mean the NBA, sure. Look, the NBA's got a problem. That is that this guy right here, LeBron James, has been the face of the league for a long time now. And the NBA has been running with this philosophy of promoting up a few number of stars, superstars. This started in the Magic and Bird era, then it went to Michael Jordan, then it went to Kobe Bryant and Shaq O'Neal, and now it's been LeBron for all this time. Well, LeBron's getting toward the end of his career, and they got a problem. People don't really want to watch him as much, although they're still doing very well, don't get me wrong. But still, ratings drop 2%, in line with the NFL. What are they talking about? Well, the NFL saw a similar 2% decline for its 2024 season. NHL is down 13%. But the thing that you have to keep in mind here, in 2024 season, something happened in the NFL that you would have thought would bump up the numbers in terms of ratings, and that is the Swiftie economy. If you remember, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are an item, a PR item in my opinion, but nonetheless, all of those Swifties then tuned in to the NFL when they otherwise would not be doing that. They're not big football fans for the most part, the Swifties. And so even with that going on, they still saw a 2% decline. Now, if you don't understand how big of a deal Taylor Swift's fans are, they are a very big deal. Right here's a headline: Swiftonomics, or the smart business choices Taylor Swift makes, this should be a comma here, that affect the U.S. economy. So this one person makes a decision like, I'm going to go on tour this year. I'm going to make a new album this year. I'm going to put out some merchandise, whatever it is. The business decisions Taylor Swift makes affect the U.S. economy. One artist, this is an unbelievable phenomenon. And you could call it Swiftonomics, Taylonomics, whatever it is, but it's boosting the economy and getting involved in new labor compensation expectations. So the decisions she makes have an effect on the U.S. economy. Okay, this is not a small deal. It's not a small deal. Just for her concerts, they average 54,000 fans, which by itself is amazing. Imagine 54,000 fans to see a musical artist. And the average ticket price is $254. I mean, this is a lot of money. And each show grosses 13 mil. Gross 13 mil for each show. And she does many, many shows. So this is not a small amount. Okay, these are billions of dollars This says right here, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour could generate $4.6 billion in consumer spending. So this is not, absolutely not, an inconsequential thing. You may not like Taylor Swift music. You may think it's ridiculous. You may want to just watch football. But from an economic point of view, this is a big deal. So even with the Swifties in here, still the NFL saw a 2% decline in viewership. Well, 2%, who cares about that, Frankie? What are you talking about? Well, one thing you may not understand is the economics of this whole thing. All of the teams get a payout from the national media rights. They all do. They share and share alike. That's one of the things that the NFL set up a long time ago that's been to their great benefit. Last year, for example, teams received about $420 million each primarily from these media rights. So the media rights that the NFL sells, each team now gets about $420, regardless of how your team, what ratings they get, etc. Individually. Everybody share and share alike, $420 million approximately. Now, the NFL salary cap last year was $255 million, about. Think about it. Just from the media rights, for which Woody Johnson of the Jets has to do nothing, basically, except field a team and have them play. You don't have to win. You don't have to win a Super Bowl. You don't have to win a game. You get handed a check at the end of the year, $420 million, which covers your entire payroll for all the players and probably the entire payroll of the whole organization if you think about it. It's $200 million above the salary cap, and you don't even have to spend up to the salary cap, but you do have to spend close to it. But so that means that those ratings are important. Why? Because the reason the NFL can charge all of these partners, Amazon, ABC, CBS, Netflix, Paramount Plus, this one, that one, all this money is because of the ratings that they get. If the ratings start going down, you will see. That's the one thing that they might do some rule changes. They're going to change everything because they cannot have the ratings go down. If the ratings go down, then they cannot charge as much for the rights to broadcast the games, and that means that the broadcast partners can't charge as much for the commercials. That's how they make their money downstream. That's why they pay so much for it, because then they can charge all of these companies that want to advertise on the broadcasts all this money because they say we got all these eyeballs. But not if it starts to go down. And how much would it go down if the Swifties weren't in there? So you've already seen the redemption arc narrative. So if you're wondering why, for example, this is happening, is because of a number of things. The Swifties obviously are going to add eyeballs to the broadcast. But one thing you may not know is that the top two teams for broadcast rights, in terms of who gets to broadcast the games, the most desired teams that the broadcast partners want, number one is the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, which tells you Jerry Jones has been doing a great job marketing his team over the years. Number two, Kansas City Chiefs. 1 and 2, and then there's a big drop-off. So that's something people need to understand. The two most desirable teams to put on a broadcast are 1, the Cowboys, and 2, the Chiefs. And that was true even before Taylor Swift, and now it's even more so. Why is that? People love watching Patrick Mahomes. They love watching the old Uncle Andy Reid, Santa Claus on the sideline with his genius play calls, and they love watching Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the whole crew. So if you think that the NFL is going to let the Kansas City Chiefs fall off in any way, shape, or form, you are incorrect. They are going to pump up this Taylor Swift thing, and they're going to make sure, one way or another. And if you were watching with us on some of the playoff games, we do watch-alongs, you know what I'm talking about. And it's very easily done. A little holding call here, a little defensive pass interference there, a little defensive holding here, which can never be really argued with because on every single play there's holding by offensive linemen. You could call it, you could not call it. If it's the Chiefs and they need to score and the offensive lineman's holding like he was holding Jermaine Johnson the last time the Jets played the Chiefs, we're not going to call that. Sorry. But if you pick off Patrick Mahomes like Michael Carter II did in that game, and was going to turn around the game and possibly lose it for the Chiefs, we'll call holding on Sauce Gardner. Just so happy. Well, you touched him. You touched him, Sauce, so that's a penalty, you see. And so that's how they do it. They don't care about every single game. They're not going to care about any of the Jets games this year in terms of things like that. But when it comes to the bread and butter, when it comes to anything that could potentially threaten this gigantic, huge, massive economic powerhouse, they are not going to let anything threaten that. It's a holding, isn't it? I mean, you saw it. There it is on the replay. It's holding. Sorry. Yeah, but you didn't call it the last time. Well, hey. So that's what's going on here. The NFL, even with the Swifties, declined 2%. They gotta put a stop to that. And if that continues, or it isn't some fluke or something, then you're going to see something drastic happen. And God forbid if Taylor Swift ever breaks up with Travis Kelce, and the Swifties say, "Oh, that football thing was fun, but it's on to the next thing." I mean, I don't know. I think Roger Goodell's got to be a little bit nervous about all this. So there you have it. Little NFL secret that they're keeping from you right now. Nobody wants to talk about it, but you get the real information right here on the Frankie Show. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, give it a thumbs up and consider joining the Inner Circle. Why not? I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.